What is going on, you guys? In today's video, I do want to do a quick rant. Recently, I've read an article on GiantsWire.com, great website for Giants content. Feel free to check it out. But they published an article about Landon Collins and Julian Love calling for the ownership of the Giants and just officials at MetLife Stadium to make some changes to the turf field to make the field safer. And I think now is the time for the Giants to really consider making these changes to MetLife Stadium. Obviously, it's not just the Giants, as the Jets do play there as well. But at what point is enough with these injuries that are going on? It seems like it's every single weekend someone's going down with a long-term injury. And I remember 2 years ago, I think, when the Jets played the 49ers, the 49ers played the Jets and then the Giants in back-to-back weeks, and I think the 49ers unfortunately lost, a crazy amount of guys off their roster, especially superstars too. So it's just really unfair to these players that the NFL is allowing them to not make these changes to improve the stadium to make it safer. So what is the NFL doing by not allowing the Giants, or the Giants not making these changes themselves, or MetLife Stadium ownership not making these changes to protect the players further? It really makes no sense to me, especially with the Giants' perspective, where you're looking at potentially extending Saquon to a long-term contract, and this field that they currently have is not conducive for ankle and knee injuries. So what picture is that painting, that we're allowing this to happen for a guy that we want to lock up long-term to be our captain, a centerpiece of our offense, and a superstar in the NFL? What kind of message is that sending? Why is this also allowed to happen? And it just shows that there's no balls by the NFL Players Union to take this a step further and say, what are we doing here, right? I do want to read a portion of this article because I think it's important. So, MetLife Stadium is one of 5 NFL stadiums utilizing slit film turf, along with Ford Field in Detroit, Minnesota's US Bank Stadium, the Caesar Superdome in New Orleans, and Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, and Cincinnati's Paycor Stadium. The NFL and its experts have agreed with this data and acknowledge that the slit film is less safe. Player leadership wrote a letter to the NFL this week demanding the immediate removal of these fields and a ban on them moving forward, both in stadiums and for practice fields. The NFL has not only refused to mandate this change immediately, but they have also refused to commit to mandating a change away from the slit film in the future at all. Now here's the crazy part. According to Pro Football Focus, the NFL executive of VP Communication, Public Affairs, and Safety, Jeff Miller, is claiming that slit film surfaces have 2 to 3 more injuries per year, most of being ankle sprains and low burden injury, where slit film also sees a lower rate of fewer high burden injuries compared to other synthetic fields. And they said that they did not recommend any changes to service at the meeting, but agreed more study is needed. I mean, when is the NFLPA going to step in here and really make a difference and say, we can't do this anymore? Especially, when you see these guys get injured on a week-to-week basis, I honestly feel bad for them, even though they are getting paid a lot of money. But when you're younger and you're, trying to make a statement in your career, and, you blow out your ankle or your ACL and you're never the same again, it does have a larger impact. Instead of just being 2 to 3 injuries a year, it could be 2 or 3 career-ending injuries. So it's something that they need to look in, and it's part of the process of making the game more safer. So what do you guys think? Should the Giants and Jets and MetLife Stadium make a change immediately? Who would make that change? And let me know what you guys think in the comments. And yeah, hopefully this is something that we do see change in the future, because it is frankly bullshit, and they got to make the game as safe as possible, because there's too much, it's football, right? Guys are going to get hurt just from hitting each other, but the last thing you need on top of that is from a non-player taking you out, in this example, a turf field.